Hello Year 7, Mr. Taylor here. Today we're going to do our second lesson of computer systems and we're going to look at software. So obviously last lesson we started to look at inputs, outputs, software and hardware on like an overview, and today we're going to really delve into software. So the main questions we are going to look at today are: what are the different types of software and why is software important for a computer? We're going to hopefully break these down and really have a better understanding of them by the end of the lesson. The first task that you need to do is find this slide in your workbook. What you need to do then is move these images around to the correct place. So on one side we've got software and on the other side we've got hardware. Now hardware is broken up into inputs, outputs and storage, remember, as these are the different features of what the hardware will let us do. So inputs lets us take information from the outside world and put it in, i.e. type it on something, or a microphone lets us put our voice into a recording like I am doing now. An output, like a printer, lets us take information out, and obviously storage lets us hold information for later use. So what I need you to do now is pause the video and please do this task for me now. Thank you for doing that so quickly. Now we have got the answers here. So on the software side, we've got the word processor, we've got the operating system of the Windows logo, we've got the Internet Explorer icon, or browsers as we call them, and then we've got PowerPoint, because these are all different examples of software that perform a specific function. And on the hardware side, we've got keyboard and mouse and inputs, because that lets us control the computer and input information into it. We've got this monitor, a printer and headphones, because they all take information that's within the computer, such as an image to a screen or onto paper through a printer, and sound through a headset. And then storage, we've got a hard drive, a USB stick and a disk or DVD of some kind that works similar to a hard drive, but obviously it's limited use and we can take it out and it's quite portable. Now the next challenge is on this slide. I want you to try and set yourself a timer now of doing this in 1 minute and try and list as many examples of software as you can think of. So you don't have to worry about the category, just in the software column just put as many examples as you can think of and try and set yourself a minute, try and really challenge yourself here. So if you pause the video and try that now for me. Now, thank you very much for doing that challenge for us so quickly. We're going to go back to that in a second, so don't worry about not finishing the categories of software for now. Now, I'm going to walk through 3 slides of explaining the different types, and we're going to start with operating system. An operating system is the kind of brains of a computer. It lets us interact with a computer in a much more friendly manner. So it manages everything, makes sure everything's running properly, and it lets us communicate with the other software like PowerPoint, Windows, Word, stuff like that, effectively as a user. And obviously it's a very interesting fact that over 90% of the world's computers use Microsoft operating systems. So if you go into an office, a job in the future, it will more than likely be using a Windows-based system. There are other operating systems that included like Unix or Linux, Android, and then you've got Mac OS, and then there's multiple more now. Obviously there's things like PlayStations and Xboxes, their operating systems. Anything that has a computer in it will have some form of an operating system in it. Now, next we've got application software, or apps. This covers the software which is usually installed onto a computer, separate from operating system, and allows us to perform specific tasks. So we've got word processors. These allow us the user to create documents such as letters and reports. Desktop publisher lets us create graphical documents as posters, newsletters, leaflets, that sort of thing. Spreadsheets or Excel, which lets us deal with numeric data, calculations, so on and so forth. And then browsers. This lets us interact with the internet and access it in a very user-friendly manner. Obviously, when you're going on YouTube, Google Classroom, anything like that, you're using a browser to do it. And then finally, we have utilities software. These are more of keeping your system clean, running effectively, and looking after it. So these include antivirus, blocking and scanning viruses on your computer to get rid of them so nothing harmful can be on your computer. Backups, copying every information that you have on your hard drive, a USB, anything like that, to a safe place so if anything does happen, you can restore it to a previous version. Data compression. This is like taking a piece of paper and folding it and folding it and folding it so it's a small square. That's what data compression does to file sizes. So if you ever save a Word document that's really, really long, it can compress it to keep it to be in a very small file size so it doesn't take too much space. And then disk checkers and cleaners. This makes sure that all the memory and all the information saved on a hard drive is looked after. It's not unnecessary, it's not too big. If there is anything that's not used or it's not needed, it can get rid of it and make sure your hard drive is working properly. Now, if you're doing this work at home for whatever reason, I want you to do each of these boxes now. So you've got system software, operating systems, and application software. So what I want you to do, system software is utility software, so don't worry about that. It's obviously just a different name. I want you to find an explanation, so to give me a good explanation, like a good definition of what it is, and give me an example. And an example, I mean a real world example. See if you can find an image or type it down, an example of the software that you're talking about. So if you do that task for me now. Thank you very much for doing that for me, Year 7. Now, this slide, we've done this at the start. What I want you to do is go back to it, and then now with your understanding of what each type of software is, what category it falls under, I want you to, all the softwares that you've listed, give it a category. Where do you think it fits in? Sometimes it might be harder to understand or where it lies, but do a bit of digging, see if you can find out yourself. Use Google. Or if you're not, just put it in, and obviously when I go through, I'll help you out, and myself and Mr. Atkinson will help you out and point out which ones are wrong. If you do that now for me. Thank you very much. Now to finish off this lesson, what we are going to do is do a quick self-assessment. What I want you to do is find this link in your workbook. It's on the self-assessment page. You can copy and paste it into your URL bar at the top or into Google, and it will take you to a test on BBC Bitesize. Now what I want you to do then is complete the test, and on your first try put your score into the pink box. So you'd put the number on the left hand side of the slash and let me know so I can know what you've done. So if you do that now for me, and obviously that'll be the end of the lesson, I will hopefully see you all soon. Take care for now.